Thank you for joining us this evening for the 2020 AIA Eastern New York Design Awards. Our program will begin shortly, but first, a word from our sponsors. Platinum sponsor, Crawford Door and Window. Crawford Door and Window Sales is an independent, third-generation family-owned and operated distributor of pillow window and door products. Founded in 1946, Crawford will celebrate its 75th year in business in 2021. Crawford has been a member of the Pella Direct Sales Network since 1952, providing the complete line of Pella products to residential and commercial clients in Eastern New York. Silver sponsors. Best Tile. Best Tile would like to congratulate this year's winners, and we look forward to working with you all on your future projects. Curtis Lumber. Curtis Lumber is a proud supporter of the AIA Eastern New York Design Awards. Congratulations to all the entrants and winners on their excellent work. GPI. GPI Greenman Peterson Incorporated provides consulting engineering, design, planning, and construction management services. GPI specializes in the development, design, and construction of infrastructure and building systems. Greco Construction. Greco Construction provides construction services from daily maintenance to new additions to signature facilities. We self-perform concrete work, flooring, sheetrock, framing, ceilings, and custom millwork. Hessner Engineering Associates. Hessner Engineering Associates is a professional MEP design firm that serves the Northeast and specializes in commercial, industrial, educational, and healthcare facility design. Hessner Engineering is proud to support the good work that AIA members do for their clients every day and congratulates this year's Design Award recipients. Welcome to the 2020 AIA Eastern New York Design Awards. Please welcome the 2020 AIA Eastern New York President, Paul Conant, and this year's chair of the AIA Eastern New York Design Awards, Katrina Pacheco.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jericho Drive-In. By now, the staff has reviewed the rules with you, given you the radio station for audio, and directed you to your spot in the drive-in. A reminder that masks must always be worn for the safety of employees and customers while outside your car for any reason. If the weather cooperated this evening and it's not too chilly for you, you may set chairs directly outside of your vehicle. Only one car between each set of white poles is allowed. This ensures all cars are at least 10 feet apart. If you need to use the restroom, please wear a mask. Only 2 people are allowed at a time in the restroom. Please form a line and keep at least a 6-foot distance while waiting outside to use the restroom, and be sure to wash your hands thoroughly when finished. You may order food online once you are inside the drive-in by going to online ordering at jerichodrive-in.com. That's jerichodrive-in.com. You must order items from the concession and twist ice cream in 2 separate orders. Just add your food to the cart and check out. You will receive an automated text message when your food is ready. After you receive the text, only one person should come to the concession to pick up your food order. Tables will be labeled 1, 2, 3, or 4. To get you started, you should have a ticket that you may turn in at the concession stand for a bucket of popcorn, compliments of AIA Eastern New York. You were given a garbage bag at check-in to dispose of your trash. You may bring it to the dumpster located behind the snack bar, or you may take it home with you. Please do not dispose of trash in the parking lot or on the field. And now I'd like to turn it over to Paul, this year's AIA Eastern New York President.
Good evening, and welcome to the AIA Eastern New York Design Awards. I'm Paul Conant, your 2020 AIA Eastern New York President. We are at the drive-in this year. How many of you remember going to the drive-in when you were younger? Last year, we celebrated our award recipients at the Opaka Gallery at the Sage Colleges. And here we are this year, trying to drum up some fun while staying safe and celebrating our award recipients at the Drive-In Theater. Did you know that the first drive-in, or park-in theater, as they were first called, was located on Crescent Boulevard in Camden, New Jersey? The drive-in was advertised as the entertainment for the whole family, and the cost was only 25 cents per car and 25 cents per person, with no group paying more than $1. The idea caught on, and in 1949, drive-in theaters started popping up all over the country. One of the largest was the all-weather drive-in in Copiague, New York, which featured parking space for 2,500 cars, a kids' playground, and a full-service restaurant, all on a 28-acre lot. The popularity of drive-ins spiked after World War II and reached its heyday in the late 1950s to mid-60s, with some 5,000 theaters across the country. Drive-ins became an icon for the American culture and a typical weekend destination for parents, children, and teenagers. Today, fewer than 500 drive-in theaters survive in the United States. 4 are located right here in the Capital District. This one, the Jericho Drive-In in Glenmont, the Hollywood Theater in Averill Park, the Malta Drive-In in Ballston Spa, and Hathaway's Drive-In in North Hoosick. I'm going to turn it back over to Katrina, this year's chair of the AIA Eastern New York Design Awards, to say a few words.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks goes out to all of you sitting in your cars for attending this celebration of design excellence. As Paul mentioned, I'm Katrina Pacheco, an AIA Eastern New York member and chair of this year's Design Awards. We gather this year both physically and virtually to honor the talent of our members, recognize the excellence of their work, and commend their contributions to the built environment. Every day, AIA Eastern New York members take dreams and make them into the reality of places where we work, play, and dwell, using the power of architecture to shape the world. Tonight, we celebrate the breadth and depth of this tremendous work. The 2020 AIA Eastern New York Design Awards Committee, Executive Committee, and Board of Directors extend their gratitude to everyone who took the time and effort to submit this year and congratulate the award recipients on their achievement. We are proud to represent and serve such an exceptional group of professionals. Before we announce the award recipients, I would like to thank this year's Design Award jury, all members of the AIA Long Island chapter. Graciela Cavrillo, Jury Chair, AIA Long Island Chapter President. Gary Hansen, AIA Long Island Chapter President-elect. Renee Marcus, AIA Long Island Chapter Secretary. Thomas Scotto Jr., AIA Long Island Chapter Director. And Jacob Rivalsi, AIA Long Island Chapter Past President. Now let me introduce our Master of Ceremonies for the evening, John Tobin, who we are thrilled to have as part of this celebration. John is the Building Technology Leader and New York Office Director for SMRT, a full-service architecture and engineering firm with offices in Portland and Bangor, Maine, Andover, Massachusetts, and New York State. John completed his undergraduate degree in architecture in Dublin, Ireland, coming to the Capital Region in 1986 to complete his master's degree in architecture at Rensselaer. Over 30 years later, he is still in the Capital Region, practicing architecture and focusing on advanced design technologies. John spent his first 10 years teaching design and technology courses at Rensselaer and immersing himself in research on housing with a focused interest in the use of computers in design. Since then, he has spent 2 decades spearheading new practice technologies and as the firm-wide technology and operations leader at EYP. An early BIM adopter, John directed BIM and technical quality firm-wide, where he championed innovation and technical change in the delivery of buildings. During his 20 years at EYP, John led notable projects including the United Nations headquarters renovations in New York City, embassies across the globe, higher education projects at Princeton University and the University of Michigan, and governmental projects for the General Services Administration. He is a frequent international speaker at BIM and advanced delivery conferences and continues to actively publish articles. John has continued to develop his passion for advanced delivery, exploring data-related BIM uses for design and building operations. John was also one of my professors at Rensselaer. John?
Hi, I'm John Tobin, Office Director for SMRT Architects in Schenectady, and I can't tell you how excited I am to MC this awards event this year. I'd originally prepared these comments back in February of this year in anticipation of an award ceremony that was to occur, I believe, in March. So my remarks are a little different now than I had intended, and sadly, the social networking of our ceremony, which we also enjoy, just isn't possible for us right now. I, for one, can't wait until we get back to some face-to-face connection. I think this COVID event has made us all realize how valuable our community is and to not take it for granted. However, despite the fact that we're 6 months past the original date, the core sentiment of the comments that I wanted to make haven't changed, even if I would have loved the chance for us all to meet in person. In particular, I want to make clear my belief that while many of the firms represented here tonight often find ourselves competing on a daily basis for the same projects, tonight is the night when we lay aside our respective colors and instead celebrate our collective shared focus on design excellence. I'm delighted to see so many high-quality design projects represented here, and I admire so many of the firms who have won awards. It makes me proud to see the quality of the design work that is now coming out of the Eastern New York chapter. So we should all be proud of the work shown here tonight. I want to heartily congratulate all the winners and thank everyone who submitted. This event represents the core of who we are as a profession, dedicated to advancing great building design. I've been asked to give a short reminder about how these projects were selected for award recognition. All projects are judged blindly by a group of architects whose projects are not involved and are not submitting. And no one in the local chapter knows anything about recipients until the jury has agreed on the awards. But you didn't come here tonight to hear me speak. And so without further ado, I'd like to get right to the designs because I believe they speak for themselves. So sit back, relax, enjoy the popcorn and the show.
Adaptive Reuse Historic Preservation Honor Award at Hudson Park, Albany, New York. Submitting firm, 3T Architects. Structural engineer, Sopco Engineering. Site Civil Engineer, MJ Engineering. Historic SHPO, Preservation Studios. Contractor, BBL Construction Services. Once a brewery's carriage house, bottling plant and warehouse, and most recently the home of Long Energy, a local fuel oil distributor. 3 interconnected historic buildings, the earliest built in 1891, were converted into 75 market-rate micro-residential units with a mix of studios and lofted one-bedroom units. This conversion project presented 3 significant challenges. The first is the varying shapes, floor elevations, and prior uses of the 3 connected buildings. The second was the limitations by the National Park Service, which would not allow any new openings in the facades. Third, since the last use was a fuel oil distribution center, it was presumed that there would be brownfield funds due to contamination, but this was not the case. It was also a fringe area where the rents need to be modest in order to work. Roofs were pulled off in 3 locations in order to allow light into the apartments and to create courtyards and gathering spaces. The wood roof planks became the newly created wall siding for the units in the courtyard. Amenities include courtyards with radiant heat, pet-friendly units with private entries, pet washing areas, smart home automation solutions, community co-working spaces, bike storage, laundry and fitness areas, and 2 large lounge areas for daily use or rented for private events, providing for a live, work, and play lifestyle so many are looking for. The jury appreciated the innovative solutions that allowed light into spaces and the respectful design adaptation for the current use, while respecting the history and facade of the building.
Hi, I'm Scott Townsend with 3T Architects, and on behalf of our firm and the whole team, we want to thank Eastern New York AIA for this recognition. It is an honor. I also want to thank the owners, Eric and Gila Moses, for trusting us to do this big project, and hopefully it worked out well for them. And you know, with any project, you have to have a great team, and we really did. We had Paul Halvax, who was our project manager, Katrina Hay was our interior designer, and my partner Jeff McDonald oversaw all the technical aspects of the project. Along with our team in-house, we also had some great consultants. We had Preservation Studios, who oversaw the historic aspects of the project. MJ Engineering was our civil engineer, and Steven Sopko was our structural engineer. The whole team really worked well together. And to complement that, BBL Construction oversaw the construction, worked with us very hard, and we all were a great team working all the way through. So we want to thank everybody for doing that. And on top of that, what was great about this project is it's one of those projects we'll always look back on our career and be grateful we had it, because it's exactly what we want to do. It revitalizes older buildings that are could be obsolete, and rejuvenates areas. So it's really close to our heart, this project. I would like to take this time and actually thank everybody else that's out there and won awards and got recognitions, because they're all well deserved, and you guys inspire us, and hopefully we do a little bit of that for you too. So on behalf of everybody on our team in 3T, we wanted to thank you, and hopefully you have a nice night and stay safe and healthy.
Commercial Industrial Award of Merit. Silver Bay, New York. Submitting firm, Finney Design Group. Civil Engineering, Jarrett Engineers and Hessner Engineering. Structural Engineering, Schroeder River Associates. Landscape Architecture, Wagner Hodgson Landscape Architecture. General Contractor, Consigli Construction. A 22-room lodge and conference facility designed to operate as an independent, year-round facility within the campus. This is the first major capital improvement project at Silver Bay since the late 1970s. Working with the client's mission to offer all people opportunities to renew, refresh, and nurture their spirit, mind, and body. The new center provides for a central gathering point for dining, social gatherings, meetings, and rest. Part of that mission includes providing meals to as many as 900 guests and staff members daily during the busy summer season. An antiquated one-story dining hall building existed in the location of the proposed facility and did not complement or connect with the existing historic 1898 inn. The new structure connects to the first floor of the inn to facilitate operational and guest use between the existing inn and the new kitchens and dining facilities. A second-floor connection was not made between the buildings in order to respect the historic facade, and is composed of a green roof and landscaped gardens, connecting the new and the old. The north side of the building was specifically oriented to the existing store building and was transformed into a pedestrian-only plaza, creating an Adirondack version of a piazza in the center of campus. A high-performance thermal envelope, spectrally selective glazing, and locally sourced stone, timber, and steel compose a modern interpretation to the Adirondack Great Camp style that exists in the area. The jury appreciated the material selection, the sensitivity to the views and history of the site, the inviting space programmatically and spiritually, and the blending of the old and the new.
Good evening. Silver Bay Cottage and the William Boyd Center. This was a project that took over 10 years to realize. We were first asked to get involved with Silver Bay in 2010, shortly after a master plan had been completed by Mesa in 2009. Out of that master plan came a series of proposed improvements, but one of them was to build a new cottage on campus called Oak Cottage. That began our relationship with Silver Bay, which eventually led to the William Boyd Center. After many workshops and charrettes with staff and operational teams, we realized the William Boyd Center. Much of that project would not have been possible without the tremendous generosity of many people in the community and many people who have had a legacy or heritage at Silver Bay. Notably, Virginia Rowan Smith, whose great-grandfather the center is named after. Thank you for making it possible. I have to thank my PDG team, Patrick Piper, who's with me tonight, who was the project architect, Jace Brown, who was the project designer, and Bob March, who was key in the construction and administration phases of the project. Mostly I have to thank Steve Tam, the CEO, and Carolyn Close, the COO, who worked with us through a very difficult build. It was started in September and completed in July through one of the coldest winters on history in Hague, New York. Tough build. Consigli Construction, who was our partner in the construction of that and through that tough build as well. Thank you to the AIA Eastern New York State for this tremendous honor. Have a good night.
Commercial Industrial Honor Award. Adirondack Trust, Wilton, New York. Submitting Firm, Finney Design Group. MEP Engineering, Friedman Fisher Associates. Structural Engineering, Artisan Engineering. Civil Engineering and Landscape Architecture, Elan Planning and Design. General Contractor, Munter Enterprises. In March of 2017, the last blizzard of the season shut down businesses in Wilton. Only a few brave drivers witnessed a prominent bank engulfed in flames. Turning a disaster into an opportunity and expanding on the company's rebranding efforts, the team worked with the owner to develop a new prototype. A bold announcement of the bank's commitment to modern, forward-thinking, and ecologically responsible development. A palette of natural materials, stone, timber, metal, and glass, celebrates the eco-conscious agenda. The front facade is an expansive glass wall, maximizing security through visibility, while allowing ample light into the space. When occupied, employees can monitor the facility passively, and at night it becomes a bright beacon at a busy intersection. This transparency is structured with clean lines and minimalistic detailing that set the building apart from its more traditional neighbors. The structure features regional materials that speak to the Adirondack style, anchoring the building in its local roots. The primary roof is pitched at the optimal angle for future solar capture, and the flat roof area housing a drive-up ATM and drive-through is designed to accept vegetation, which would mitigate harmful heat absorption and absorb stormwater runoff. The building is rotated from the original footprint to engage both Maple Avenue and Northern Pines Road. A reimagined parking lot improves safety, increases green space, and adds parking spots, allowing the location to host more clients. The owner aims to support the region not only with financial services, but by actively engaging sustainable design, setting a precedent for design that reflects the bank's mission and image for an ever-growing and bright future. The jury appreciated the successful use of local materials, the use of sustainable design that speaks to the site, and the achievement of the client's goals.
All right, thank you for having us tonight. This is a real honor to be here. The Adirondack Trust Company's new branch in Wilton, New York. It was a great project. It started with a design competition with several local firms, and we were thankfully lucky enough to win the competition and move forward with the project. Adirondack Trust was a great client. They invest a lot in their locations. If you look at their different buildings and different locations, it's diverse architecture across a variety of styles and so on. For this one, we were able to break the mold a little bit and get more of a modern feel, which was reflective of their new branding that they were going through with their new logo and text and so on. So it was great to be part of that process with them and have their building reflect this new image of a modern, youthful bank. I need to really take a second and thank our team, Brendan Drake, who's with me tonight. He was the project architect on the project, and then Kate Mulry, who was the project designer, and then obviously several other people at our company that worked on the project. It was a great team effort and special for sure. And anytime that you're recognized by your peers is something special. So a special thank you to AIA Eastern New York and the jury on this project for blessing us with this honor. Thank you. Have a good night.
Institutional Award of Merit. Peekskill Fire Headquarters, Peekskill, New York. Submitting firm, Mitchell Associates Architects. MEP FP Engineering, Houston Engineering. Structural Engineering, Craig Maloney, PE. Civil Engineering, Fusion Engineering. General Contractor, Rock Built Construction Corporation. The Peekskill Volunteer Fire Department was founded in 1813. Before the current consolidation, 6 companies occupied 5 stations, 2 from the 19th century and the newest 50 years old, all with glaring operational and firefighter health and safety issues. The department of 140 volunteer and 26 career firefighters make over 3,400 calls per year. The architect worked closely with the department and city to develop a design that consolidated operations, meets today's operational needs and health and safety standards, provides a home for volunteer and career members, utilizes traditional materials that demonstrates civic pride and reinforces the city's historic fabric, and provides a meeting space for community use. Peekskill is in the midst of a revitalization, including a recently awarded $10 million economic development grant. The new fire headquarters helped the city to position itself to successfully receive the grant. The building materials and forms create a timeless streetscape for the centrally located building that serves as a new gateway to the city. The building is designed as a permanent structure, not a 50 to 100-year facility. Wall flashings and anchors are stainless steel. Roof flashings and trim are copper. Our values well exceed code. Heat recovery ventilation is used with CO2 proportional ventilation rates. The accessible meeting room and the museum lobby are now the preferred location for city events. The building is a great source of pride to the community and is considered the standard that they have set for what they want their city to be. The jury appreciated the exterior facade design and finishes that reflect the historic aspect of the surrounding community.
Hi, I'm Bob Mitchell of Mitchell Associates Architects. We are the architects for the Peekskill Fire Station. I'd like to express our great gratitude to the City of Peekskill for letting us do this important project. In particular, I'd like to thank the Chief, John Pappas, and the former Mayor, Mary Nolan. Our team has worked on this project since 1996 when we were first interviewed for it. They eventually hired us in 2006, and we did a series of studies from 2006 to 2010, at which point they said, okay, we're going to break ground next spring. The political climate changed and they did not break ground until 2016, in December of 16, and they moved in 18. So this project has had a long gestation. It's a very important project to the city. It's an old city. Henry Hudson landed there when he came up the Hudson River. During the American Revolution, they were temporarily the headquarters for the Continental Army. Abraham Lincoln visited Peekskill. In the 19th century and up through World War II, Peekskill was a very prosperous town. But in the aftermath of the war, like so many towns, it fell into decay. This project is their statement to the world that they are on their feet, proud of themselves, and proud to make a statement about what life is and can be in Peekskill, and we're very happy to have been able to be part of this. Thank you very much.
Institutional Award of Merit. Queensbury High School Legacy 2020 Capital Project, Queensbury, New York. Submitting firm, C.S. Arch. Site and Structural Engineering, CHA. Lighting Design, Lighting Design Innovations. Hazardous Materials Design, Alpine Environmental. Acoustics, Kavanaugh Tachi. General Contractor, Bunkoff General Contractors. Construction Manager, Turner Construction. Since 2013, the Queensbury Union Free School District implemented an extensive planning process to transform its rigid, mid-century high school into a modern learning institution. The $39.7 million high school redesign completely modernized existing space to enhance educational programming, increase the usability of community spaces, and allow for greater collaboration among students and faculty. The main facade incorporates stone and wood building materials that reflect the surrounding Adirondacks, complemented with large windows and perforated panels to modernize the exterior and provide clear sight lines into the secure vestibule and lobby. The installation of floor-to-ceiling glass throughout the building added natural light and increased overall energy performance. The goal to enhance educational programming resulted in the formation of 3 interdisciplinary instructional communities: Humanities, STEM, and Fine and Performing Arts. The STEM learning community is a hub for technology and collaboration, including a state-of-the-art innovation lab, media and video production classroom, robotics lab, and shared marker spaces. Flexible furniture encourages collaboration. Humanities classrooms put learning on display with corridor wall glazing and promote active learning with multiple teaching walls, projectors, and write-on surfaces. These dynamic spaces accommodate a variety of learning activities and can be easily reconfigured. In the Fine and Performing Arts community, art instruction is conducted in studios with natural light, high ceilings, and visual connectivity between spaces, reflective of a professional artist's environment. To control the flow of visitor traffic and separate instructional space from community space, the community room, media center, gallery, and student support services are purposefully situated off the main entrance. The jury appreciated the creation of an inviting space for students and educators, filled with light and openness, all while maintaining an environment for learning.
Hello, I'm Greg Cloquet, Managing Principal here at CS Arch and Project Manager for this project. I'd like to thank the AIA Eastern New York for this award. This project is one that stands out as one of our most rewarding projects to date, which impacted the way an educational program is delivered across the entire building. The success of this project started with a great client who was fully engaged in the design process from start to finish and who realized the impact of a built environment on the successful delivery of their educational program. From the initial planning and visiting sessions starting in 2012, the partnership between the design team, the school district, the community, and the students allowed us to collectively reimagine and realize a student-centered vision for a 21st century high school.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Duke Buchanan. I was the job captain for this project and oversaw construction. The project team included mechanical, electrical, plumbing done by our own in-house engineers. CHA did the structural and civil. Kavanaugh-Tachi did the acoustic design. LDI did the lighting design, and Turner Construction oversaw the CM portion of the project. The project includes renovations of almost the entire building, classroom and gymnasium additions, and a complete redesign of the site circulation for access and safety. Public spaces have been reorganized and program spaces realigned to create 3 distinct learning communities. Designed for collaboration, active learning, enhanced technology, and safety and community, the high school has already become an inspiration and benchmark to other schools throughout the region. During these trying times, we are happy to join you by video.
On behalf of the entire team here at CS Arch,
Thank you.
Residential, single-family attached, Honor Award. Private residence, Queensbury, New York. Submitting firm, Finney Design Group. Structural engineering, SB Engineering. Civil engineering, Hutchins Engineering. The owners wish to host their family of 6, all without altering the character of the beloved community. On approach, the camp appears a charming, single-story cottage in tune with its surroundings. Its large fireplace and staggered facade provide strategic shrouding, allowing light to enter while hiding the neighboring cottages and directing views towards the lake beyond. Emerging from the deck is a stone staircase that carves out the dramatic hillside, defining a walkout patio while shielding it from view. The home's exterior features sustainably preserved cedar siding, motor-operable windows enable passive cooling, and traditional rain chains to direct runoff into rain gardens that buffer the lake edge. A large bifolding door allows the kitchen, dining, and living spaces to open seamlessly to the large exterior deck, overlooking a modest patio and to the lake views beyond. Reclaimed timber and steel were used throughout to maximize openness and add a modern rusticity to the interiors. Exterior guards and rails were composed of glass to increase the transparency of the structure and limit any obstruction to views. The main interior stair wraps the large stone fireplace composed of hot-rolled steel panels and native stone. A glass clearstory surrounds the stair, allowing framed views of the lake beyond, but flooding the stair with natural light during the day. Building footprint and orientation was constrained by the small lot and steep grades to the lake below. The house acts as a large retaining wall, forming a gateway to the vistas beyond, while carving out a hidden patio and fire pit area from adjacent neighbors. The Asian influence is evident in the home's exterior detailing, tying into some of the owner's San Francisco heritage while paying homage to the Adirondack location. The jury appreciated the open and inviting plan, how the roof and ridge lines respect the natural environment, and the successful blend of materials and attention to detail as they relate to the site.
Glen Lake Cottage. This was a really unique project. It had a tough site. It was a small seasonal camp that was grandfathered, tired, and needed to be removed. The client, the Little family, who over the years have had several camps in there, this was special for them to be close to their other family members. So even though it was a challenging site, they said to me, this is going to be a small project, but I think we can do something very special here. And I think we were able to do that. The PDG team had the building act as a doorway to Glen Lake. So a one-story, somewhat unassuming structure from the street side with some interesting details. As you walk through the main door, it opens up to a vista of the lake and views of the surrounding Adirondacks. It was a great project with a lot of interesting details, but more importantly, a great client. Located in San Francisco, we performed this project remotely with them with aid of some technology and a couple of flights back and forth. We were able to get the project done. It's particularly special to us because we acted as the construction manager on this project as well. So we oversaw every aspect from beginning to end and were intimately involved in all of the construction details. I want to take a second and thank the PDG team, Jace Brown, who was the project architect, and Nicole Zampano, who was the project designer, and several others that worked on the project. Mostly, I want to say thank you to the AIA Eastern New York for this recognition. Thank you. Have a good night.
Residential, single-family detached, Honor Award. State Street Residence, Saratoga Springs, New York. Submitting firm, Balzer & Tuck Architecture. Lighting design, Nelson Reed's ALD. Landscape architecture, Wagner Hodgson Landscape Architecture. General contractor, Teakwood Builders. A custom home in downtown Saratoga Springs, New York. The State Street residence is located within a dense residential neighborhood and includes bedrock located only 4 feet below grade. The design solution includes a sleek gable and bar massing that bridges the gap between the traditional architecture of the neighboring structures and the new home's modern aesthetic. The main gable form of the home holds the majority of the living spaces, while the bar houses the circulation and utility spaces. Board-formed concrete walls and exposed steel structure, along with lap siding and wood soffits, bring balance to the exterior. On the interior, the use of concrete was repeated for the fireplace and floors. Steel was also employed with exposed steel structure on the first floor, allowing for a 12-foot-tall open living space. Wood and steel mix again in the design of the main stair, which seems to float in the space. Large windows and doors on the first floor bring in natural light and connect the main living space with the side yard. Implementation of the landscape design, including a pool, green space, hardscape, and various plantings, will occur in a future phase. On the second floor, The master bedroom incorporates both traditional and contemporary details, with its wood ceiling, exposed timber rafters, and steel tie rods. 2 wood and steel stairs on this level lead to finished space under the main gable, complete with exposed rafters and skylights. This space is the perfect example of how a design challenge, in this case, the existence of bedrock making the creation of a basement space infeasible, can lead to an even more beautiful solution. The jury appreciated the linear scheme that relates to the site: clean, thoughtful roof lines, the warm and inviting materials, the modern feel of the interior, and a well-organized plan.
Hi everyone. First off, a big thank you to everyone at the AIA who helped put this event together tonight. It's really great to be able to celebrate together, even if it's not in the way that we've done in years past. I don't know about all of you, but with my 2 little kiddos at home, pretty much everything we do nowadays is drive up or drive through, so this was perfect. Anyway, I wanted to say on behalf of everyone at Balzer and Tuck, we're honored to be able to share our design for the State Street residents with you this evening. This was a really fun project for our office, and it was one that evolved over a number of years. It started with a great client who had bought a piece of land in downtown Saratoga Springs, and they wanted to be respectful of the fabric of the existing neighborhood, while at the same time incorporating their more contemporary design aesthetic into their new home. So we were able to work with a great client, great consultants, a great builder, to develop a project that had a lot of fun aspects to it, from board form concrete to 3 different wood and steel stair designs on the interior. So overall, just a project that we really enjoyed, and again, we're honored to be able to share it with all of you this evening. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for this award.
Unbuilt, Award of Merit. Flyleaf Portable Reading Room. Submitting firm, SMRT Architects and Engineers. The challenge: design a small, inexpensive, open-air portable reading room that is easily assembled, in which users may donate a book, take a book, or sit and read a book. The space needs to include seating for at least 2 people and a bike rack. The result? The Flyleaf Portable Reading Room. Today's proliferation of digital and auditory reading materials expands the lens through which we define the act of reading and the entity of a book. Flyleaf is a space for readers to pause and celebrate the intangible enrichment of reading and the tactile experience of physical, paper books. The form abstracts a paper book placed on its spine and falling open, a series of webbed and nested frames open to form an airy, shaded canopy. Users travel beneath the canopy to a central spine, which houses the book exchange bookshelf on one side and bench seating on the other. Bike racks are integrated into the structure along an exterior face of the central spine. Like the act of reading a paper book itself, Flyleaf physically engages its occupants. An operable pulley system allows users to open and close the nested frames with a hand crank. In its closed position, Flyleaf provides sheltered and accessible book storage and seating through winter and inclement weather. Flyleaf's prefabricated logic allows for a simple material palette composed almost entirely of cross-laminated timber. ETFE film, as well as stainless steel hardware, support versatility, portability, and easy assembly. Photovoltaic panels integrated onto the exterior seams of the webbing power LED lights allow reading sessions to extend into the evening. The jury appreciated the unique building form that relates to the product it was designed for.
I'd like to thank the entire team that worked on this project: Brad Baker, Lodris Gomez, Scott Pekalski, and Phil Cheney. Thank you also to SMRT and the Creativity and Innovation team for encouraging our participation in this project and for valuing the opportunity to design and think experimentally. And finally, thank you to the AIA of Eastern New York for recognizing this project.
That was a great and inspiring selection of design awards. I'm especially delighted because I personally have known many of the firms who received awards tonight, either through my time in academia or in practice. I also want to take time to thank the local AIA chapter for their dedication in putting these awards on. Everyone knows 2020 has been one of the more challenging years for our generation. What began as a routine annual event planned was challenged by the COVID lockdown. But our local chapter persevered and has remained committed to recognizing the recipients of the 2020 awards. I personally want to congratulate that sense of perseverance which has led to this great and unprecedented awards recognition. Huge congratulations to our local chapter leadership, especially our hosts tonight, Katrina and Paul, on our collective behalf. Tonight I want to close with one unexpected pleasure for me. The chapter has asked me to recognize Sue McClymans, who recently was awarded Fellowship of the AIA, a national honor for all of her many contributions over the year. This is an assignment I relish. Sue McClymans is a person I greatly admire, and I'll briefly explain why. Sue McClymans is a force. I mean that in every sense of the word. A force for change, a force for good, a force for technical excellence, a force for our profession. She might very well be the force that Luke Skywalker was struggling to find in Star Wars. But in any case, this region is lucky to have a personality as strong, as committed, as individual, as human, and as talented as Sue McClymans. I first met Sue when I joined EYP back in 1998 and was immediately struck by her sincerity and her warm personality. Any firm is only as good as the individuals on its staff, and I bonded with EYP as a firm because of the opportunity people, individuals like Sue, gave to me, a relative newcomer to the firm. I was very sorry when she moved on, but as you can see from this award tonight, she obviously had a plan for bigger and better things. The next time I met Sue in person was many years later on the New York State Board of Architecture. Sue was the outgoing member and I was an incoming member. So I got to enjoy meeting again with Sue in Manhattan and on the train, and to admire her skilled and thoughtful commentary. During that time, I developed a new and even deeper appreciation for Sue and her contributions to the profession. She quietly served on the New York State Board of Architecture for 2 terms before I got there. But as soon as she left, she got even more involved on our collective behalf in NCARB. In between the time that I knew Sue in 1998 and the time I reconnected with her on the Board of Architecture, Sue had spent 14 years working on the AIA Documents Committee, refining and improving the contracts and forms that we all use on a daily basis. Not exactly a glamorous task or high profile, but definitely necessary. Sue McClymans lives this profession. She does it for no other reason than any other thing she ever does, full of passion, deep commitment, always something valuable to contribute on our behalf, and this region is all the more fortunate to have her in our membership. She is a world-class spec writer and has thrived in that capacity as an independent, women-owned business consultant. She's my kind of hero because she does all of this behind the scenes and for no other purpose than to advance our common interest as architects. It is my pleasure tonight to honor my colleague and friend Sue McClymans as the recipient of the Fellowship of the American Institute of Architects. Congratulations, Sue. Your quiet contributions are now, maybe, appropriately recognized.
Hi, good evening, fellow AIA ENY members. I am hoping that you're feeling well and staying safe and enjoying your life as much as you can during these problematic times that we're facing these days. I'm glad to be joining you, although it's virtual. I am very honored that you've recognized me for gaining my fellowship with AIA. It's a wonderful occasion for me, and thank you for celebrating it with me. I was asked to give a little bit of the background of how I got my fellowship and talk to you about, perhaps going for fellowship, encouraging you to go for fellowship for yourselves. So I applied to get my fellowship in the category of service to the profession, service to the Institute. And I started my service with volunteering at AIA ENY. I moved to Albany, New York, and I moved from New Jersey. I was still an intern, did not have my license, and I thought it would be a good thing if I joined the local chapter and became active to get to know people and, to become involved with my new community of architects. And so I volunteered to help. I found out they needed someone to help with programs, so I set up programs for them. I was asked if I would run for office, and I said, well, nobody will vote for me because I just moved here, nobody knows me. And they said, well, you'll get elected because nobody else wants the position. So I did get the position, and that started off my path to service to the AIA. So I became president of AIA ENY. Then I went on to the AIA New York State and served as a board member and then as an officer, became president of AIA New York State. And at the time, I had 2 young children. I was running for office while I was pregnant. I had twins, and my babies were little when I was president. And so, you find your path and you do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. The volunteering part has always been the most enjoyable part of my service to AIA, meeting new people and serving, making some good in this world for our profession. So after I finished my stint with AIA New York State, I applied to become a member of the AIA Documents Committee. I got accepted. I spent 14 years on the AIA Documents Committee. We write all the contracts, all the forms, the agreements. I was brought on to work on the 2007 release of A201. And typically it's a 10-year stint, but they kept me on for 4 additional years because they put me on the task force to rewrite A201 for the 2017 release. So I spent 14 years on that committee. I was on the management group, I think 8 years of that. I was chair of the committee for 2 years, vice chair for 2 years. And it was extremely rewarding. It was a great group to be with, and the work was just fabulous. And in the meantime, I was nominated and accepted to be a member of the New York State Board for Architecture. I was appointed. I served a 10-year stint on the board, and I'm currently an extended member of the board, which means I do disciplinary hearings only. And that opened up a path for me to serve on NCARB committees and on NCARB leadership positions. I served NCARB for, 10 years, maybe 8 years. On committees, I was on a whole lot of committees. I wrote items for the test. And I was on many, many committees. I was in the leadership of our region, which is the Middle Atlantic region. There's comprised of 8 states, and then I served 3 years on the NCARB National Board of Directors. So I served NCARB, I served AIA, I served the State Board, and as a spec writer, I've served CSI in various capacities as well. So that was my path to my fellowship being awarded to me, and it was, a long path with many years of service, but it was the most enjoyable thing ever. I was honored to be made a fellow, but to me, the path of getting there was the most wonderful thing, not becoming a fellow. I don't have my medal yet. I could show you it if I had it, but they canceled the convention last year, so we've just been, we were notified we became fellows, and we never had any kind of ceremony or anything. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this year, although who knows, right? But in any case, thank you for inviting me to speak. If anyone would like help with their application, I'd be more than happy to help you out in any way I can. And once again, congratulations to all the design award winners. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you again for inviting me to speak. Take care then, bye-bye.
So I just want to close tonight by saying how much I appreciate the opportunity to MC and the great quality of the awards we've seen tonight. I think we can all be proud of the design thinking that won the awards and what they represent for us as a local chapter. And I definitely want to thank the Eastern New York Committee for giving me this opportunity to host this year. I'm honored to be asked, and it has been a total delight. But before we call it an evening, let's bring up our chair of this year's Design Awards for some final notes. Katrina?
Thank you, John, and thank you all again for your attendance and for all the great things that you do. Now, refill your popcorn bucket and enjoy the feature film Click, starring Adam Sandler, who plays an architect. Are you surprised? Enjoy the second half of the show.